Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's morning briefing. Terrible news is coming out from the United States, where yet another bloody mass shooting has devastated the country. Police have confirmed 26 dead and at least 20 others injured after a gunman walked into a Baptist church in Texas and proceeded to open fire. Prime Minister Netanyahu has just sent Israel's condolences to the victims and their families. Sunday church services were in session when the first shots rang out, a horrific and tragic setting for what is now the deadliest mass shooting in Texas history. The suspect, so far identified only as a white man in his 20s, entered the church with a ballistic vest and a Ruger semi-automatic rifle. He opened fire, injuring or murdering victims ranging in age between 5 and 72. A local resident who happened to have a rifle fired back, sending the suspect fleeing for his car. The suspect crashed his vehicle after a short chase and was found dead inside the car along with a cache of weapons. At this time, police haven't found a connection between the suspect and the church where he opened fire. In fact, at this time, the sheriff's office has confirmed that they have no motive at all, making this senseless act of violence all the more confusing and all the more heartbreaking. According to an extremely alarming report newly released by the Anti-Defamation League, anti-Semitic attacks in the United States have increased by a whopping 67% over 2016 in just the first 3 quarters of this year. In all of 2016, there were 1,266 reported incidents. A high number to be sure, but between January 1st and the end of September of this year alone, there have already been 1,300 reported incidents, ranging in severity from fairly mild to deadly. The A.D.L recorded over 700 reports of harassment, including over 160 bomb threats, over 580 acts of vandalism, and 12 physical assaults, mostly targeting Jewish institutions, community centers, synagogues, etc. And if that wasn't bad enough, the increased threats span across all age groups too. The number of incidents in elementary and high schools doubled this year in just the first 9 months to a whopping 270. That's not even touching the number of incidents on university and college campuses, which have also increased by 60% this year. A.D.L CEO and National Director Greenblatt said, quote, "We are astonished and horrified by the rise in anti-Semitic harassments, incidents, and violence targeting our communities. Every single day, white supremacists target members of the Jewish community, holding rallies in public, recruiting on college campuses, attacking journalists on social media, and even targeting young children," end quote. On the subjects of schools specifically, he concluded that, quote, "As a country, we have to do more to ensure that our schools remain places where students can learn safely without fearing bullying and hate," end quote. We can only hope that Greenblatt's plea will reach the right ears. Israeli border police have now released video footage of a major arrest performed last week in the West Bank. The video shows Israeli security services ambushing and arresting a Palestinian terror cell while the cell was attempting to plant a bomb, complete with a gas canister, near the security barrier. Border police first took notice of this terror cell when 3 men in a suspicious vehicle approached the fence northeast of Jerusalem. When the 3 men exited the vehicle in order to set up the explosive, policemen made their approach. 2 of the Palestinian suspects were arrested right there at the scene. The third was picked up the next evening in his hometown of Beit Duku. According to the reports, the bomb was intended to be detonated when Israeli patrols passed by. Thankfully, there have been no reported injuries, and the 3 Palestinians are now awaiting trial at the Ofer military court, facing charges of terrorism. Israeli lawmakers are offering their support right now for a bill that would effectively bypass a high court ruling preventing suing of boycott activists without proof of damages. The proposal, which was penned by Likud Knesset member Yoav Kish with the support of Strategic Affairs Minister Gilad Erdan, would allow companies to seek damages of up to 100,000 shekels, or nearly $30,000, from major active members in the international BDS movement without citing actual evidence of financial damages caused by their boycott. The authors liken the bill to copyright legislation, making it a viable alternative to the bill whose power the High Court limited. Minister Erdan tweeted he was proud of the ministerial committee for approving the bill and praised the proposal as an effective tool against BDS abroad, should it be fully adopted in the Knesset. The Israeli Air Force has just launched its most massive aerial exercise to date, an 11-day drill uniting fleets from 9 different countries right here in the Holy Land airspace. This year's Blue Flag exercise is even more special because for the first time ever, jets from India's Air Force will also be joining the drill. This participation marks a major improvement between Israel and India. Though diplomatic ties have been complicated in the past, India is actually the single largest buyer of Israeli military technology in the world. Just a few months ago, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the first ever Indian leader to visit Israel. And now, India has just sent over 45 members of its Special Air Force unit, who will spend the next 2 weeks in Israel flying alongside hundreds of jets from all over the world. So clearly, this is a relationship that's quickly warming up. This is the third year of Israel's Blue Flag exercises, which unites over 1,000 Air Force personnel to strengthen the international diplomacy and military cooperation.
That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.